Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Stranded Survivors. My name is Matt, and I'm one of your co-hosts.
My name is Jericho. I'm a co-host of the Stranded Survivors podcast along with Matt. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week. And with that, Matt, how are you doing?
My guy, I am doing good. Graduation is only like 3 short weeks away, so I am looking forward to getting that piece of paper and being done, taking that last test, doing all the things. So the day is quickly approaching, and I am looking forward to it, but it's not like it really offers a huge rest because right back at it with grad school. So it's a hurdle, and I'm happy to jump over it.
Yeah.
But that's really where I'm fixated right now. It's really all I can think about, man. What's new with you?
Well, of course, I've been playing Call of Duty. It's a new rank season.
Boo.
I feel bad. I actually played with Ninja
Let's
like the
go.
first time, and I didn't even finish the game.
What, you quit on this poor man?
I
In a
did
ranked
quit on
match?
him. No, not ranked. He was just playing
Oh,
normal, and I wanted to play ranked because it got released, and
yeah.
my friend got on, and I felt bad, but I did. He didn't necessarily care, but you know what I mean? I just felt bad.
Oh, he didn't openly admit he cared, but I bet you hurt that poor man's feelings. And don't worry, Ninja, I will get him for you. I'll punch him in the back of the head next
Oh, no.
week.
Um, what is it? But yeah, so that been playing a lot of ranked COD. Like when I'm not like locked in, right? Like I just play
Right?
bad. Like I play some bad Call of Duty. And I
Oh.
today my friend was playing and we were talking about stuff like about how like some kid around here got ran over by a car in
What?
Everett. Yes, some eighth grader got ran over by a car in Everett.
Is he
Yeah, it's
okay?
just um he is
Oh,
rest in peace.
that is very, very terrible and unfortunate. And condolences go out to the family. I'm sure none of them are ever going to listen, but condolences go on out to the family. That's terrible, my guy.
Yep. Um and the crazy part is my wife is actually not best friends, but very good friends with the person that hit the kid.
No, oh my goodness. And, you know, it, like in situations like this, it's tough because, I'm sure that person was doing nothing wrong when it happened. Was it just like a freak thing, or were they like on their phone or something terrible like that, or like
So um this all I really know from what I understand is that
conjecture, of course?
yeah, all I really know is that this person um or sorry, this kid was on like a little mini bike or something
Okay.
and ended up running a stop sign in
Oh,
town
nuts.
and then the person hit him. So
What an unfortunate accident all around. That's terrible for everybody involved.
it's just the last thing I'll say, but it's just that it is crazy to me, like how things like like when people believe that this girl like deliberately like was on her phone and speeding, right? But
Okay.
then like from like the side of the story from like my wife's talk to her and like she is a very trustworthy person and like she's like no I wasn't on my phone like this you know what I mean like so it is just crazy how people can say things like and just like it could be false like people are saying like on social media like oh yeah this person did you know what I mean like it's just crazy how things get around like that so
Yeah.
quick.
One of the unfortunate things about the human mind is when there are gaps in a story, people love to fill it in themselves and assume that that is the true reality. So, unfortunately, it's I'm sure going to be a lot of rumor and conjecture until the police release their official thing and they'll get it all figured out. And I just I offer condolences to the family and peace of mind to the driver. Goodness gracious, that's terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible. Yeah, there's a lot more, but that's we'll just leave it there. There's no reason to
Yeah.
continue talking about that.
Yeah, goodness
Um,
gracious. That's another story for another day.
but okay, and I say good news, right?
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
good
let's
and bad things to this. Okay, so I've told you millions of times that I'm just never interested in any sort of job. But you tell me
Huh.
every week I ever mention my workplace, you're like, no, bro, you need to leave. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, that place just
And
sucks.
yep. And you always tell me that. and I'm always just like, man, I can't find anything, like, whatever. And I will say, dude, I finally found something that I think I might like. I'm actually interested in it. So that is awesome so far. It's called a student monitor through the MOISD.
Okay.
And so reading it, I wish I can't say kids' names on here, but
Yeah, yeah.
we've had kids that are like, this might, I shouldn't even say this, but I'm going to.
Off mic, you'll be able to fill in the blanks. Yeah, but I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, whatever. So there's kids that we've had, and whatever. So it's a MO, like you are pretty much a glorified parapro.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a one-on-one,
And
pretty much, right?
yeah, from what I'm understanding, like it says you take them to their therapy appointments, and then like in the description it also says like depending on the day, you will not really know where you're needed, and like but you might have to change where you're needed or something. I don't know, but like it said something about you might have to change where you're needed, in like depending on classroom needs. So to me that sounds like you're in the classroom.
Uh, kind of, yeah, but I take that more as like, you could be with Johnny today, but on Tuesday, Billy could be really struggling, so you might be going with Billy over to,
Yeah,
West
that
Side
classroom.
University.
Yeah. Yeah, but like but I'm assuming you're still in the classroom with that kid, don't you think? Just one on one?
Mhm. Yeah, whichever kid it is, they'll just have you based on, what the classroom needs. You'll go to different classrooms.
So that's almost like exactly where I work now, except
Yeah.
it's only one kid instead of six.
Yeah, significantly less stress, significantly less drama and trauma.
Like, don't you think though, like that would be a little easier? I mean, not easier. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying whatever, but you know what I mean. Like, that'd be less stressful.
Mentally easier for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
And
So
if the
like,
pay is comparable, why not, Less stress
that's
for
that's the
comparable pay.
problem though.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, unfortunately, those positions, speaking from personal experience, don't always come with what you would like to receive.
So, um, it is actually like a $5 pay cut.
Oh boy, ouchie, ouchie, wawa.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I guess I'll just say it. I don't care. People know how much I make. So I make pretty close to 20, right?
Right.
And it's like 15. So that kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
it's like, for me, right? It's like my sanity or $5. Which one?
Yeah, but $5 8 times every single day. That $5 40 times every
It's like
week.
five, ten
Would
grand.
really
I know.
quickly. Oh boy, that I know this is gonna go against everything I've said here, but maybe keep looking. It's
So,
it's a stepping stone, man, because I went from what you're doing now to a position just like that, and then I came back to teach shortly after. So like it could be a stepping stone for you and give you a chance to reset and breathe, which is not a bad thing necessarily short term.
yeah. And so, like, but I also wonder, like, so it is the school schedule, which is absolutely spectacular. Okay. First
Yeah.
off, like, that adds a dollar value, I feel like, in itself. Okay.
Yes.
And,
Fair.
um, I think I know schools are pretty stickler on their
Yeah.
stuff, but I mean, dude, I got 5 years experience with the kids that are at where I work. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I say that being probably a little cocky, but you know what I mean? Like, in
No.
reality, I will be asking for, like, hoping for more.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, I took the same job that you have now with the mentality of once I'm a teacher, I will be able to handle any classroom in America after doing this particular job. And I feel like you are now at that point. You know what I mean? You did your time. You now could easily teach at, any school in Detroit or Flint if you wanted to with absolutely
Hmm.
no problem. So, I mean, in Michigan's in a bit of a teaching crisis right now because teachers are mistreated, abused, and
Yep.
underpaid. So, if you really want to walk into the dumpster fire that is the US Department of Education right now, I don't want to get on a political high horse, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on with the Department of Education right now that honestly it might be worth not getting mixed up in a Department of Education job quite yet.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair
As
enough.
it's taken a spooky turn according to some of my teacher friends.
Yeah. Um,
So
that's fair enough. I've heard some things, but like, it's either that or I just continue, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna interview, I'm gonna ask for more money, I'm gonna see what it actually entails because I don't necessarily like fully understand and like necessarily like it's the wording's just kind of weird to me. So I don't understand everything fully.
right,
And so I want to know more information. I want to know first, second off, it's hourly, right? Like I was telling
right.
you.
Yep,
And well, that means I will not be paid throughout the summer, like some teachers
correct.
would.
Or spring break,
Um,
or
yep.
Christmas
And
break, Thanksgiving break.
any of those. Yep. Unless I get paid time off for those, depending,
You
you know
get
what I mean?
paid on the holiday itself, and sometimes the day before or day after, but not the rest of the break.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oof.
Michigan's great like that.
Yeah, that is terrible. But so yeah, so that would be a downer. And then yeah, I wouldn't be working for the summer unless I have a summer job, which would also kind of suck,
Right.
because it'd be nice to have the money.
Well, um, what I did when I was doing like parapro stuff in the summertime, I would jump in with the custodial crew and would just go around and, listen to music and clean lockers out, move stuff around, rearrange furniture, wax the floors.
And they let you do that?
Heck yeah, man.
Really? I wonder if they would let me do that.
I was just a bonus janitor for the summer and it was actually pretty cool.
I can do that. I just can't do cooking or nothing. I can clean though.
You can cook. My God, you just gotta. I will scream it from the rooftops. Everything that I learned from cooking, I learned from the Food Network, and you can too.
But yeah, no. So ultimately, even though that is a huge pay cut, and the wife is like, not no necessarily like it, she also, doesn't want me to get beat up or punched at every single day.
Yeah, and I mean, the the sheer weight that is off of your chest, and like, how you just go home and you feel defeated, and you gotta like sit in your car in the driveway in silence for a couple minutes to collect your thoughts after some of the days you have there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that feeling anymore, man, and there doesn't have to be a pay cut to leave that place. So the simple fact of not going down and going parallel and not getting beat up, like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to figure out what's best for you. And if you're at that spot right now, then it very well may be worth, like I said, for 6 to 8 months, figure it out, take the pay cut, and you'll lose 2 or 3 grand. But I feel like
Yep.
that's worth the mental health cost.
Yeah. And I agree,
And you can look the whole
100%.
time for something else.
Yeah, exactly. And I just keep an eye on stuff, even though everything kind of sucks around here. But
Yeah.
um, that's what, like, like, I mean, granted, I would go into it with the intention of it being good and hopefully staying there long. But like you said, you never know. I mean, even just like having the open possibility of whatever, either going back to where I work. Like, I don't want to do that, but I'm just saying, like you said, maybe a break is what's needed.
And you always can go back if you leave on good terms. You know darn well they'll take anyone back there.
And
I feel
that's
like
so
I left
funny.
on bad terms and I could walk back in at any time.
It's so funny you say that because yeah, that's exactly what like Zach, you remember Zach, right?
Yep.
And I was talking to him and he goes, you're semi young, like, dude, you could go do whatever you wanted and they will always need you back. They will always be there.
100%. And as long as you don't walk out the door saying forget the free world, they will
Yeah.
100% take you.
So yeah. But yeah, that's my like thing, I guess, like that's so I'm like excited about that other than the pay cut and potentially having to pick up a summer job
Right.
because I don't want to do that. But like you said, if I could do that, but I also, I mean, sorry, we'll get off this in just a minute. It's been like 15 minutes here, but
Hey,
um,
they're getting an inside peek to our life here. This is candid
yes,
crap.
yes. Um, so what do you think? Okay, so Hannah and I were talking, and we were thinking, or well, whatever that, like, there's kids through the MOISC, right?
Mhm.
That like they probably go to year round, or like like some sort of credit recovery, don't you think, or no?
Yeah, there's definitely probably through the MOISD for sure, depending on what age group you're at. But most schools will offer summer school or credit recovery. And the school that I had worked at, it was actually pretty competitive. They offered like, hey, we need people to pick up summer school, and I want to say it only took 2 or 3 days before it got completely filled up of people that had volunteered for like the extra
Yeah.
money that came along with it. But it's definitely an option, and they always are looking for help, especially if some of those kids that need a little additional assistance in the classroom are going to be going through credit recovery as well, which, statistically speaking, they are usually the at-risk students.
Yep. But yeah, so that's like been, something that I actually was like, it's weird that I've actually am looking forward to a job, even though it is potentially a pay cut. I'm looking forward to something.
Let's go. I'm happy for you and excited for you. Hopefully it all pans out, and, you know, hitting the reset button is good for you every now and then. So I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah. So I guess, we'll see what happens here. I'm gonna actually hopefully apply tomorrow to, kind of like I said, know more information, ask my questions, all those things.
Right.
So that's always the first step right there.
100%. I agree. Well, good, man. That's exciting. Hopefully it pans out for you and they'd be lucky to have you,
Yeah.
especially with all the experience you have.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Man, speaking of, sorry to, I know you said we're gonna get off this, but I can't believe I
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
to
yeah.
tell you this, my guy. Some craziest thing. So my company that I work for, it's pretty quiet, and we are sort of, leasing is picking up, so like we got a lot of
Yeah.
paperwork that's going on, just lots of paperwork crap. One night, I am laying in bed and I stayed up way too late. It was like 1 in the morning. I was like, all right, I really got to go to bed. I'm gonna hate my life in 4 hours when I wake up.
Yeah.
And as I'm laying there, I always turn my phone on silent when I go to sleep. And I have a dream that like somebody's trying to get a hold of me and I can't figure out who it is. Like I can hear them talking to me, but like the reception's really bad. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I wake up, roll over, and I'm like, man, I really got to check my phone. I don't know why, but I do. And my boss had called me like multiple times, texted me multiple
Oh no.
times, said, all right, whatever. So I go to look and see what it is. And she says that, get my own self in trouble here. She's like, the fire department is at our most
What?
quiet property, the quietest property that we own. And they are saying that this specific apartment number has the alarm going off, the fire alarm. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm pretty positive that's an unoccupied unit and nobody's in
Oh
there because
no.
it's been a whole thing. There's like a whole thing going on because that particular unit came with some drama. And I'm like, man, that's unoccupied. So like, whatever. We got to go in and check it out. Nobody else is answering their phone, so I guess I'll be the guy that does it. And I go get in my car, drive in at like 1:30, 1:45 in the morning to go see what in tarnation is going on. And there is indeed two fire trucks out in the parking lot. So I say, I'm nuts. And then I look over, the firefighter is pulling his ladder and like climbing through the upstairs
What?
window, like pulling out the screen and like going in the upstairs window. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, the apartment that we got called for in the first place is a downstairs apartment. What are you doing, guy?
What?
And it turns out the upstairs apartment, this person was asleep and had been cooking. And
No.
thankfully, yeah, thankfully speaking, there was no actual fire. It just
Smoke.
scalded the pot and like smoked and set off the detectors, and it was like a whole thing. And the
Oh my
question of the
gosh.
day is, how do you sleep through 30 minutes of a smoke alarm going off in your home?
That is an absolute insanity.
Yeah, insanity. So grumpy as heck at 2 in the morning, I'm
Yep.
standing here as they're trying to explain to me what's going on. I'm trying so hard to respectfully just nod my head and listen, but at the same time, like everybody needs to stop talking and everybody needs to leave because I want to go back to bed. And oh my goodness, man, it was interesting. So it's been a whole thing. It's been a whole thing. I'm gonna like, I'll save the rest for a different discussion, but it's been a whole thing and it's interesting.
Well, see, that's actually crazy though.
Yeah, it's such a quiet place, so it was very surprising.
Well, dude, so I don't even know necessarily, but like there's this thing called peak properties. You know what that is?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard
You
of it.
do? Okay. Well, either way, I seen that and there was something they do exactly what you do, right? And
Correct.
And they have a bunch of jobs open too, but I didn't think that was necessarily my style of thing to do.
I didn't either at first, but it's easy.
Yeah, that is fair. Because, but yeah, it was just like, like it literally had the same like thing that you tell me, like you're like, oh yeah, like they potentially like you have access to Canva to like help with stuff through that, right? And like you're an assistant to somebody, like but you just
Okay.
help with leases and like whatever, like and social media, and that's all you do.
Yeah, that would be easy actually. The social media aspect of it is the easiest portion. So if they're looking for someone to do that, then jump all over that if possible.
Yeah. Well, then I sent you that thing about the esports thing, bro. That was kind of cool. I
Yeah.
have no bachelor's, but
I considered applying for that, but they would have to it's a pretty substantial pay increase, but I would also kind of it takes a lot to get me away from the company I'm at right now. I really, really like the company that I have, like that I'm employed by, and all the way from the ground all the way up to the actual owners itself. Like the owner is a very cool, down to earth human being, and all the district managers and regional managers, and it's a really cool company. So it would take a pretty special job to pull me away from them.
yeah, that's fair. In that job, the only reason I didn't apply, I mean, granted, I don't have a bachelor's degree, but
Ah.
the only reason yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm like, man, you can figure it out. But um, is that what is it? Like, it does require weekends. You know what I mean? Like when you have tournaments or like whatever, like you have to be there.
Yeah, yeah, that is an unfortunate thing. And I'm pretty sure you have to be there most nights as well, because the guy that currently does that position was there for all of the Call of Duty matches and stuff like that. He was there not every night, but many nights he was there for the Call
Yeah.
of Duty matches.
See, that's why I couldn't like. Yeah, you're not wrong. And I didn't even think about that, but you're not wrong at all. Actually, they do that literally every night. Or like not every night, but like you know what I mean. Like they have different games probably almost every night. So it's like a nighttime job.
Yeah, dude, Monday was I'm botching the literal sports here, but like Monday was Fortnite and Super Smash Bros. And then Tuesday would be Tekken and Rainbow Six. Wednesday would be Call of Duty and Apex. And it was like every single night there was something, man. And they're all
See,
like
that's no,
collegiate leagues and stuff.
mm-mm. Couldn't do it, dude. I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. That's the problem. It's like my biggest thing is. It's like I want a job that the latest I get out is 5 o'clock. I'm not
I feel
settling
like
for
that's
less.
reasonable, a
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, that is, I feel like the dream.
Yep. Because you work till 5, right?
I'm supposed to work until 5, but really I can leave anywhere between 3 and 5. My boss is super laid back.
Yeah. See, that's nice.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, it's sort of nice. But also, I kind of have a job where anything that I need to get done throughout the day, if I don't get it done by whatever time I need to leave, I can always do it at 6, 7 o'clock, and it'll take me 20 minutes. So I mean, it's not like
Yeah. Yep.
anything's real time sensitive.
Fair enough. And most of that stuff that is time sensitive, like I mean, you just get it done during the day.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty diligent about prioritizing things out. So very rarely do I have homework, teacher.
but yeah, but yeah. So that's like my biggest thing is I guess just looking forward to what life brings. I guess.
That's
So
awesome, and it's been a while since I've heard you say you're looking forward to the future. So I'm pumped for you.
yeah. But I mean, granted, this is at this point become a 25-minute episode about life, so I don't see why it just can't continue at this point.
Yeah, we might as well. It's not what we intended, but now it is.
Yeah, it is now. I mean, it's just life now. I mean, little life episode, life update, just about things. I guess we'll just
Behind
continue
the
on with
scenes.
yeah, a little behind the scenes action here in the Stranded Survivors. Now, if you don't, granted, this is 25 minutes in, so if you made it here, congrats. First off. Um, Second off, make
Yeah,
sure you join our Discord because you must actually care about us if you made it this far.
and
So
we care
thank you.
about you too. So join the Discord.
But but yeah. And then I will also I want to read the comments. So still, no matter what,
Yeah,
even
let's
though
do
it's a
that no
different
matter
type of
what.
episode,
Yep.
even though there's only a few of them. Yeah. Some of you are getting called out. This is embarrassing.
Oh my gosh, let's hear from our number one fans.
Yep. Number one fans, right? Gonna come up here in a sec, okay? No. But got sorry, I'm about to die in an arc, so like I'm little like, like, oh yeah, I don't want to die, you know what I'm saying?
I
And
think we
I just
should just
died.
embrace the death. Like
Yep, I
Helena
died.
said,
Okay,
we are
cool.
the ones who respawn, the ones who try again.
I died. Okay, here we go. Equal Fox.
Let's go.
Looks like the first comment is mine this time. Matt, you still have to
She's
take
my
me caving
Shiro.
on Arc sometime, or at
Let's go,
least chat and
girlfriend.
voice chat sometime. I'm absolutely excited for the new kitties. I'm hoping today, or I'm hopping on today after forcing Drew to tame me one. I want to take some time to restate my love for this podcast and for the wonderful community that surrounds it. I've been having so much fun with all of y'all, and I have seen so many positive improvements in my life lately because of it. I love you all.
Aw, shucks, we love you too.
Yeah,
Oh man.
that was sweet.
Equifax has been, yeah, Equifax, and like we've had a handful of people that have been super active in the Discord. There's been like 6 or 7 people that have been super active. So shout out to all of you guys because it is really, really cool to see the community building going there. And I'm seeing not just your life improving, but it makes my life a little bit better too to see everybody. My one of my initial goals was to see everyone making friends, and I see that happening, and it's really cool. So I love you too and appreciate you for being a part of this community. And I'm not joking. Let me know. Call me out sometime. Send me a message in Discord. You got my panhandle thingy, whatever it's called. And let me know. I'll take you to whatever cave you want in the island. Asterisk.
There you go. There you go. Got to make sure you get that in there.
Yeah, I'm not going to
No, but
PvP to get bulleted and left behind somewhere.
no, but we appreciate it. Equal Fox, like Matt said, we really appreciate it. And Matt definitely will take you
Absolutely.
caving eventually.
100%. Like I said, you
Um,
pick the one. I'll even go die in the ocean with you.
yeah, there you go.
Short life and a merry one.
Um, so then we got Hail Hydra. All right, Equal Fox.
Ah,
Great episode, guys. So I will say it sounds like it's going backwards, arc that is. So it
what?
can
Oh,
move forwards. But for me, it's just the same. New map, but nothing else. Well, an angry dragonfly, but I don't want to talk about that, lol. Anyways, I love that y'all's podcasts are still going. Unfortunately, one of my other favorite podcasts, Godzilla Destroy All podcast, just came out with their last episode for now. So I'm a
no.
little upset right now. But I'm glad y'all are still here. I love this community.
Sad days. Hey, we love you too, my guy. It might not be the type of podcast you're looking forward to or interested in, but Jericho's got a podcast he's starting up, so maybe a new favorite podcast on the horizon.
Ooh.
I'm restarting a D&D podcast here soon, so
You actually
D&D
are?
podcast. Yeah, I have officially pulled the trigger. I'm wrapping up the campaign that I'm DMing right now, and then we're gonna do the arc one shot for this podcast.
Yep.
It's gonna be like a 2-part, 3-part miniseries, and then after that, I will probably be starting a new Dorks and Daggers campaign.
A Dorks and Daggers campaign, really?
Yes, sir.
So
Not
my
sure.
question is, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Not sure what the cast is gonna look like, but
Oh, okay.
we're gonna try. We're gonna see. The original cast has agreed to finish the original campaign, so I'm getting Chuck, Ben, and Evan together to do like
Whoa.
2 more episodes to finish that campaign, and then I'm not sure what it's gonna look like after that.
So the thing is I think that some of those people could be rekindled their love for what you guys were doing with those two
Yeah,
episodes. I do think that. I think you guys had a blast. You know what I mean? Like I think
absolutely.
I think just clear set boundaries, stuff like that. I think you guys would be great.
Yeah, and the last time we were recording episodes, I was, not in the greatest place mentally, and it took a lot of balancing of a lot of things to make it work back then, and being in a different spot now worked a lot on my mental health, and I've grown a lot recently, so I'm sure things would be very different.
Wait, you were at the last you were at a different workplace, right?
Yeah, I was at the workplace with you, and that was when I was in the throes of you know
Yeah.
all the terrible things that were going down, and it was just a rough time for me.
Yeah, things are complete. That's crazy. So I'm gonna ask though, right? So I mean, granted,
Yeah.
you're not doing it for views or anything, right? I mean, that's just you're doing it for fun, right?
Right.
Um,
It's
and
honestly probably going to be tied up through this Discord even.
okay, that's fair. So my question is are you going to do Dorks and Daggers, right? Because that's what you said you wanted to finish. Like, are you gonna restart it, like a whole new podcast thing, or are you just gonna keep it on your guys' old Spotify?
I believe I am going to make it a I don't know if you want to call it a sister podcast to Stranded Survivors, but I'm kind of thinking maybe Stranded Dorks instead of Dorks and
Ooh.
Daggers, let it have its connection, have its home Discord be based out of our Discord so that way the two communities can blend together and we can just all nerd out together.
I actually really enjoy that. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so
So
hopefully we can, because I mean, it was the weirdest thing. I am all for it, but we actually had a majority of our viewers last time I checked were outside of the US, so we're gonna maybe add a little broadened cultural horizons to the Discord.
yeah, no, I think
We're
that'd be
big in
fun.
Sweden and
So it'd
Australia
be like a
too.
whole nother podcast page. Is that correct?
It would be basically like how we have all the different tabs and stuff like that. I'd probably create its own tab and try to keep everything under its own category like that, so that way everybody who wasn't interested in Dungeons and Dragons wouldn't be bogged down by it. They could just minimize that tab. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Or a
Um,
channel, whatever you want to call it.
yeah. So then, what was I gonna ask? Oh, so sorry, I just keep asking a bunch of questions because I'm excited. Um,
I'm here for it.
but so on Spotify, right? Like you
Uh-huh.
have the Dorks and Daggers. Would you just change that name, or like actually make like it called whatever the name you're gonna name it, like on a whole different
Um,
thingy, different channel?
I think I would probably change the name. I would leave the old episodes as they were, and then I would, moving forward, figure out a way to change the titles.
Okay. Because I mean, this is just my opinion, and I could be 1,000,000% wrong.
You're wrong.
So there's two things to it, right? You guys
Okay.
have a following on there, which granted could be gone. I don't actually know, and you don't know.
Most of it is.
Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like, is it like, then at that point, is it worth it just to make it new? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like
you're not
I
wrong.
don't know. I'm like I don't know. I mean, but also if you're finishing it with the old cast, you have to do it on the other one.
Yeah, absolutely. We 100% would at least have to do those couple episodes on that one. And then I feel like it would just make the most sense to continue using, because it's all posted through the same Spotify and stuff like that. And we already have, I forget, it was a few, last time I checked, it was a few hundred followers. So it wasn't anything crazy, but it was a decent amount. And, if we can try to maintain a couple of them at least, it would be nice to have that head start. Because, boy, if you remember, the first 100 followers were by far the absolute hardest to get.
Yeah. That is fair enough. The followers were really hard. Our views were nice at the start of this, but that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the
But
views picked up quickly, but then what a roller coaster, man. What a roller coaster this podcast has been on as far as viewership goes. We don't do it for the views. That's
no.
irrelevant, but it's just interesting to watch statistically. Like I'm a numbers guy, so I love watching the statistics. I love seeing the numbers. I love knowing who we're reaching and where, and it's fun for me to creep. And fun fact, I don't know if you viewers know this, but when we look at like our viewers on Spotify and stuff like that, we are able to creep in pretty in depth all the way down to 0.01% of your viewers live in this particular city of this particular province of this particular country. And it's interesting to be able to track, like in Michigan, for example, where in Michigan are we being listened to? It's interesting.
You know what's actually crazy, which is granted, I don't know how I didn't get these before until now. They've given us monthly reports now.
Yeah, I think that's new for this year, if I'm not
Yeah, I think it
mistaken.
is too, but I've only gotten February. No, wait, sorry. Oh yeah, I've only gotten two of them because it's just now March. No, it's April. I think I've only gotten February and March. I didn't get
Okay.
January, but I
It's
thought
got
that
some
was
cool
very sweet.
information.
Yeah, like I mean, just like for example, with views, right? Like it just gave you all your views instead of like looking whatever. Like I don't know, it just everything was nice to just randomly look at. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet to just like here. I'm gonna see. Oh, it just tells you your views, comments, um, watch hours, like for like what people listen for the month.
That's pretty interesting. I'd be curious to hear what our watch hours are. Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, so we'll go over the last 2 months because why not? Even though
Yeah, why not? Let's be
sadly,
transparent.
sadly, this last month is way worse, but who cares?
That's all right. We're not doing it for the views, so
No. But okay, Spotify for creators, that's weekly. I just gotta find it here. But maybe I should just type it in. Okay. So Spotify stats for February. Okay. February stats, we're talking about streams. So how many people like listened? 1,521 for the month. Um 26 new followers in the month of February. That was kind of dope to see. That's like almost one person per day.
let's go. A new person every day.
736 new or 736 total hours listened to. Um 35 new comments and 5 new ratings.
We got to pump those numbers up, people. Call all your friends, call your families, tell your grandma to bust out a Discord.
Okay, and then we'll go to the new one. Okay, and the new one, which eventually I'll find, this one was for March. So I mean, we're just comparing here, just so everyone knows that people compare themselves if we don't do it.
Fair enough.
1,047 streams, so about 500 less viewers this last month. Okay.
Ouch.
um, 17 new followers, so like what is it? Like almost like 8 less. Not bad though. 17 still not bad for the month. Um, 40 new comments and 1 new rating.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean definitely statistically lower, but you know, it was still like whatever.
Yeah, we gotta. So, okay, we objectively have analyzed what ARC needs to do better to get their numbers up. We gotta figure out what we gotta do to get to
Yeah,
pump our numbers up.
that's right. Maybe we need more episodes like this. No, I'm just kidding, but we'll figure it out. But we also have not even finished these comments yet, but so we can continue this conversation probably after the comments because it's
Oh
been
yeah,
about
yeah, sorry,
30
sorry.
minutes or 40 minutes.
Sorry, I got ADD.
Yeah, we were distracted. Lachlan or Wolfman Blue. Love the episode. My name on
Wow.
Discord is Wolfman Blue 383, and that's my Roblox and YouTube usernames. We need to talk. Chat on the Discord, maybe? Sorry, Hail Hydra, but I don't have PS Plus anymore. I might get the Switch one. Then I think it's or sorry, I might get to Switch one. I think it's cheaper. Do you like my new name? Lachlan out.
Oh yeah. So sounds like we got a friendship brewing here. I'm loving it.
Yeah, and he changed. So what do you think? You like the name change, Matt, from Lachlan to Wolfman Blue 383?
Hey, I like it. We got an animal, we got a color, we got a numeric sequence here. You got all the makings of a magnificent name. So good work, good work. Can't go wrong either way. Both are great choices.
I agree, and it'd be fun. Always fun to change names. I like to stick with my name now, but I used to like to change
Yeah.
names.
Yeah, you're stuck as Mr. Water Slippers. I got to be careful with what I say before I get an assigned nickname.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
Speaking
you'll
of,
never be assigned a nickname while I'm sitting here. I've been probably assigned 10 nicknames throughout the podcast, so
you just got to quit being so darn quotable. You're like a Kelso from 2025.
yeah, I might as well be named Mr. Quotable.
Mr. Quotable. No, Mr. Water Slippers it is.
um, and then the last comment was, I still say this wrong, I think, but I didn't get in trouble last
Ooh.
time. Kieran, uh, epic episode. Thanks for the info about Astrios. Google was saying it was finished, but then again that it wasn't. So yeah, thanks. Also, what dinos would you like to see in Ark?
Added to Arc. Hmm. I want some more horror-based dinosaurs,
Oh
and I
my
don't mean
gosh.
like I don't mean, like phony baloney movie ones. I
Like the
mean,
cat?
there is you don't even get me started there. There is some real nightmare fuel out there that actually existed, and I would like to see some of that terrifying stuff that, you know, chases you through the arc and makes you wonder what on earth you're doing. Like let's make arc scary again.
Well, what about the kittens, man?
Okay, they're adorable,
They
but
attack you.
well, it's probably still freaking adorable when they do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give you that for sure. But
Cutest death ever.
I think I don't know. I mean, if I'm being honest, this would kill people's vibes because a lot of you guys are newer players and not OG ARC players.
Which
But
unfortunately is hard.
um, I would actually prefer them just to get rid of some dinos. I'm gonna be honest, or some. They're not even dinos. Get rid of some things. Get rid of some animals.
I agree, actually. I would much rather see them remove some things rather than add more things.
Yep, I'm just like ready, like for yeah. I'm just good with what we had. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Call me old fashioned, but I just think there's a little too much going on in some of these maps and dare I say a little too much fan service that's been going on recently, but that's a story for another what if.
But yeah, no, I actually don't think I would add anything. To be honest with you, I just don't want to add anything because I just don't. Like I said, I'm not necessarily fully like yeah this whatever. So no, I don't want to add anything. I'm not adding anything.
Yeah, I can't think of any specific species off the top of my head that doesn't already have a niche that's like covered in the game. So something scary is really all I would add if we're gonna add anything. But I'm with Jericho that I would rather they remove something rather than add something. But then that begs the question, Jericho, if you can remove a creature from Ark
Mm.
to make the game more enjoyable for the fan base, period overall, what are you removing?
To be honest, screw the fan base. I want what I want. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Huh?
But man, I'm getting rid of. I mean, it's not just one. I'm getting rid of all the new dinos.
All the new dinos?
Yep. I mean, there's not one that I necessarily. I mean, granted, I could be wrong. I'm not necessarily have anything pulled up, but there's just nothing, man. That like I just want all the OG dinos back when I started playing originally.
Yeah, there's nothing that was added after Ragnarok that I would genuinely miss, to be honest with you. So if they were to revert the code back to a point where they were, you know, I forget what I'm confusing it with Pokemon, obviously, but the original 150, if you will, for what we got on the island, the center, Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, whatever, like that basic crew, I would be totally fine with them just keeping it that. I could do
Yep.
without everything else.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah, that's what I just prefer. I think some things like Genesis, all that crap. No, I'm good, man. I did not like the text writer, all that extra. I don't know, man. I just didn't like any of that stuff.
It feels, in my opinion, like it takes away the integrity of what the game was intended to be. I know we've talked about that in the past, but I wanted a game where I feel like a literal caveman, and I can't do that when I'm shooting laser beams around on my mechanical spider
Yep.
deer.
Yep. That's exactly correct. But yeah,
Hey, if that's how you like it, more power to you.
exactly. I mean, like I said, I feel like a lot of players are new players, and that's okay. I'm not necessarily crapping on you, but I enjoy the easier slash not as many of these dinos or animals.
Not easier, but simpler.
Yes, simpler. That's true.
I I hate to admit it, man, but like there's a new generation of gamers out there right now, and these young bucks are just not the same. They're just not the same that we were, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's time to pass the torch, and unplug the N64, so to speak, but they're just a different species of gamer that is seemingly interested in a different play style. And I think that it's really tough for developers because they're kind of in that awkward spot of, do we cater to the OGs or do we cater to the new community and try to attract a new player base? And I mean, that's marketing wise, that's a really tough call to make.
It is. I agree. So Will's saying, by the way, just a heads up, that he found no real answer on when Reg comes out, if the island, like what we talked about last week on if the island was going to be wiped or if people could bring stuff over. And then he also said the best part of Genesis is the creature variants. I love the leopard pattern sabers.
Okay, that's fair. The leopard pattern, yeah, that's pretty solid. I'll give you that. I got no smart aleck comments to that part, but telling you, man, if they don't give us a surefire answer about Ragnarok and one that I like, I'm gonna have to challenge the Snail Game CEO to a boxing match.
Yep, there might be a real one. We
Yeah.
might even just actually we might just start a GoFundMe for Matt to get a flight to Snail Games office.
Hear me out. Fly me
Yep.
out, folks. Everybody pitch in. Throw it all down in the Patreon. We're gonna fly me out to go fight the Snail Game CEO. If he wins, he is the new co-host of Stranded Survivors. But if I
Yeah.
win, I own Snail Games now. Totally fair
Oh,
trade.
I agree, 100%. Will says, "What office are you going to? The U.S. or the China one?"
uh um trying to
Wherever he's
um
at, right?
yeah, wherever that guy's at. I feel like he's probably gonna be at the US one, but these hands are rated E for everyone, so we can Mr. Worldwide up in here.
You're funny, bro.
Uh, it's
Oh,
funny because I'm a pacifist.
that's funny. But yeah, man, that's fun. But yeah, no, I wouldn't add anything. I like I said, get rid of them. Get rid of a lot of these dinos.
Yeah, yeah. Checkmate. What's next, Captain?
Yes, Will, you need to find where the CEO is hiding so Matt can get there.
Yeah, yeah. Do some CIA work for me and do kung fu kick him right in the liver. Liver shot. Take him down.
Yep. By the way, guys, I just want everyone to know that's listened this far. One, you got to be an OG, or at least a cool person if you listen this far
Truth.
into the thing. But I was actually talking to Boogles about when the PvP server is going to wipe because we haven't had as much activity on there lately. So he said it would run to about April 25th. So we will be potentially opening up a new PvP server, depending on how many people are interested in that. I feel like, if everyone joins on a new wipe and on an easier map for people, you know, people might actually want to play and have a fun time. And we'll whatever. But make sure you guys join that. I don't know. I just want to have a lot of fun. And even if that's hey, for the first week, everyone can't attack people and everyone can build up for the first week. Maybe that's what we'll do. But we'll kind of figure that out. But I want you guys to join the PvP server, or I also want to potentially run an event on the PvE server. But tell me what you think about this, Matt. I was thinking about making an event for the PvE server on the island, but my problem was oh, if I make it PvP so you can attack people, you don't think we have a toxic community that would go blow up somebody's base, right?
We don't have a toxic community, but there are toxic people that would be happy to invade our community, that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a little nervous about doing that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I would say that there's no possibility that that could happen, but we had those two stinking doo-doo heads, man, and they have thoroughly ruined my trust. So I trust our current community, but like I said, they made me just not trust strangers anymore.
That's fair enough. Will said, what about Tribe Wars and PvP with reward for winning team and PvE server?
I actually love that idea. I
I
think that
do
it would be
too.
great to do something like that, or if we could even get the PvE server and we do a fresh wipe or something like that. And we do like a regional thing, kind of like a Game of Thrones thing going on, where if you build in this community, you're a part of this kingdom, and then eventually have all three of them or four of them, whatever it is, go to war, and could be interesting.
Yeah, and I think it was Will actually that mentioned like the one time like being like, "Hey, loaded crisis, could we hop on your servers and like have like stranded survivors versus whatever?" I think that'd be
That
fun
would be
too.
really cool. If we could
Yeah,
find a like-sized community, that would be really fun.
yeah, and I think we could low key get 10 people in ours.
I think we could, no problem.
Granted, kind of hard, tribe being together. That might be a little struggle. I don't know, but hopefully not. Like have so many people, that's kind of hard.
Yeah,
I don't know. Put all players in the raffle wheels so no tribe is OP. That's true. Yeah, that'd be fun. I wonder how many people would do that. Like if we started it. I wonder, should we? I don't know. I'll talk to Boogles. Should it go to a PvP on the center?
oh,
Is
that could
there
be fun.
is there enough areas there? You know what I'm saying? So there's the snow. There's two snows actually. Um, then there's Lava Island. Then there's just the normal starting Blue Ob Island. Then there's like the
Yeah,
Midlands and there's the Redwoods. So I wonder, like, what would that look like? You know what I mean? Like, so you could do the Redwoods, right, as one tribe, which that's huge, by the way.
that's so
Um,
huge.
uh, the Redwoods, you could do the volcano people, kind of, maybe. I don't know
The
if that's
volcano people.
the volcano people. You could do the snow people, the snow tribe. I don't know what else you could do.
Um,
Maybe the big center island, the floating island people. I don't know the floating island
the
people.
floating people. Dibs on the
The
floating
floating.
people. Um, I feel like they would be wrapped up in the swamp because those floating islands are pretty much in the
Yeah,
middle of the swamp.
fair, fair, fair. Yeah, I mean, I guess let us know what if you're interested in like this tribe war or like I don't know, like rag. What? I mean, that's probably the best map to do it out of right now, right?
Rag?
Yeah,
I
or
mean,
no,
the
sorry. I
center.
mean, of course, rag, but
Oh
the
yeah, you got me
probably the
really
center,
excited.
right? Because it's the center island or scorched right now. I mean, other than like Astrios and all those, but that's it. An aberration. We're not doing that.
Hex nah. Yeah, either the center or the island would be my votes, but the island is quite boring for a lot of people. It's classic, but also some people are just not that into it. So
We could do a free mod map. That's true.
yeah,
I don't know.
we could. That's not a bad idea.
I don't know. We'll have to look into it because I think Tribe Wars would be pretty fun. Like just having like whatever. I don't know. Like
Yeah, I
we've
think
talked
it would
about
be
it
cool
before,
too.
so I think that'd be fun though. So I guess the question is going to be is one if I remember the question, but two is going to be if you guys would be like willing to do a PvP server and do like a Tribe Wars type thing slash whatever, and then of course we try to do some videos and stuff on it. We'll see what we can do, but yeah,
Yeah, I think it would be interesting, and I would actually be interested if we have enough people to make it fun. You know what I mean? If it's going to be
yep.
like four people that are there and four people doing their thing, then I'm probably not going to stick around too long because PvP is not my thing to begin with. But if we got a whole bunch of people doing their thing and it's like a cooperative regional warfare type thing, that'd be pretty cool. I could get into some World War III in Arc.
I agree, and it's like you get like a certain amount of time to build up, and then there's an all-out war at the end, or something. Or
Yeah, I like
like
that.
you can maybe troll people or something, but not like wipe them per se.
Yeah, we'd have to figure out some gentleman's rules, or we could just say no gentleman rules and figure it out.
Yeah, that is also
Get
true. We
better.
could do that.
Get
Yeah,
good
I'd like to see
scrubs.
how many people are actually interested and do like a little try to make it a little video out of it.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to gauge some stuff. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Plus, you had me at the center, so
Yeah, it has been a minute since I played that too. But yeah, I think that's definitely conversations. And then we'll definitely get back to you guys on if what we're gonna do with the island, and if we're gonna have people restart or something on Ragnarok. But that's a while away still, sadly.
yeah. Oh my God, we definitely will have people restart on Ragnarok eventually, but for the time being, what are we gonna do? Because
Yep.
who knows?
Yeah. But you guys got like a full episode on behind the scenes.
Yeah, the most random and behind the scenes episode we've ever done. But hey, hopefully you learned a little bit more about us as human beings.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I hope you guys enjoyed here. I had a lot of fun. I hope Matt had a lot of fun anyways. Hope you didn't get too bored over there.
No, I'm just over here building a base, killing zombies, and having a good old time. It was a good talk.
But if you guys did listen this far, which most of you do, all the cool people anyways, so
Oh
you're
yeah.
cool if you listen this far. No, let us know if you guys would be willing to do like a little tribe wars type thing. And I guess what Matt probably, even though we might do center, but let us know just in case. Other than that, survivors, keep on surviving and have a great week.
Have a good one, folks. We'll catch you next week.